Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to come out and speak with you today. Wow, what an impressive group of professionals we have here. State fire marshals to deputy state fire marshals to state training agency directors, members of the NFPA, National Fire Safety Council, National Fire Academy, and insurance commissioners. A lot of knowledge sitting in this room today. And I am very humbled to be up here and have an opportunity to speak to you about something that I feel very passionate about. So, a little bit about myself. My name is Jamie Stone. I work for the Rome Floyd Fire Department. Been there since 2003, going on 22 years. During my time at the Rome Floyd Fire Department, I have had the opportunity to work in several different divisions. Um, First started out like most firemen, firefighters, fire chiefs, who whatever your current rank is, sitting on the back of the truck as a new recruit. My job then was real simple. They call, we go. I grab the nozzle and put the fire out. I loved it. Great job. And that's what a lot of people get in the fire service for. But during my time in suppression, I had the opportunity to advance. And I've made from recruit all the way up to captain in our suppression division. My responsibilities changed, my roles changed, and I did a lot of growing during that time, professionally and personally. One day I had my then battalion chief come to our station. Said, "Hey, let me talk to you in the office for a minute." Yes, sir. It's never a good thing, right, when your boss calls you in the office. But he called me and he said, "Hey, you ever thought about becoming the chief of training? There's to be an opening over there. Think you'd be a great fit." And I'm like, chief, no disrespect, but no, I've never thought about that. My goal is kind of just continue on up the operations side through suppression and hopefully maybe even make battalion chief one day. He said, "Well, we'll give you a little bit of advice." Yes, sir. He said, "Battalion chief's a great position." He said, "Battalion chief, though, you affect a few. You decide to go and you make a training chief position, you can affect many. You can help assist with the direction of the fire department. What are we going to look like in the future?" I said, "Well, hmm, thanks, chief. I'll think about it and I'll get back with you." He left, and I thought about it. Went home, talked to my wife. We weighed out the pros and cons. My mind, I wasn't going to get off the 24/48 schedule. It was great to go work a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 job. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized he was right. I did have an opportunity to make a difference. I would be able to change the direction of the department or enhance the future of the department. Not that we were going in a bad direction, I just felt that it'd be an opportunity for me to assist in making the department better. So I put in for chief of training and fortunately was selected. During my time in training, I really had a lot of time for growth and realizing that there's way more to a fire department than just responding to calls, right? As a young guy, I wanted to be on the fire truck. But as you get older and you grow, you realize you can make a difference for those guys on the truck by training them. So during my time in training, we implemented a lot of new strategies and tactics. We enhanced our officer training program. We revamped our recruit training. And I had a great team that supported that. And we made our training division to what it is today. So during that time, I earned my associate's degree from Columbia Southern University, associates in fire science. Went on back and got my bachelor's in fire administration because now I'm seeing that, hey, I do want to be part of something bigger than me. I do want to be a part of this department and the leadership and the command staff of this department in order to make it better for the folks that come from behind me. So an opportunity came up for me to make application for the division chief rank. Made application, and lo and behold, I was selected to be the division chief of support. Division chief of support works with the fire marshal's office, which includes fire inspectors, pre-plans and investigations, and also training and fire and life safety education. So that led me, what can we do better? What is going on in the fire service today that would make our department better? And the answer is community risk reduction. So all back to that battalion chief say you can affect a few or you can affect many is what led me to where I'm at today. And I have a great team and we work really well together and looking at ways that we can enhance our department. What I'm here to talk to you about today is community risk reduction. The title of my presentation is Never Forget the Past That Led to the Future of Community Risk Reduction. Never forget the past that led to the future of community risk reduction. Things we're going to talk about today in my presentation is the future of fire prevention. Is fire prevention going away? No. We always need to work to prevent fires. Should it be rebranded or restructured? Possibly. What is a fire service culture today compared to when you came on or when you first got in the profession? What will it be in the future? What should it be in the future? Working with citizens and community outreach programs. That is a great way for a fire department to reduce the risk in their communities. We'll discuss that. What changes in the workforce and society has changed the fire service and the members that work here and the community that we serve? What future challenges might we face? There's always challenge with change, no doubt, right? We will face challenges in implementing community risk reduction. But I don't think it's any challenges that we can't overcome. What is CR leadership? Community risk reduction leadership. What does it look like? Does it change from your current fire prevention structure? Does it change your department structure at all? Or does it enhance a division in your department? We'll discuss that. And then we're going to look at how community risk reduction enhances public safety personnel risk reduction. So, what is the future of fire prevention? Well, to understand the future, let's look back at the past for just a moment. So, behind me, you see a chart. It represents from the year 1980 up to 2020. And what it does, it shows a trend of structure fires from 1980, where we had 734,000 total structure fires, with 590,000 of those being 1 to 2 family dwellings, and 143,000 of those being apartment complexes. That's a lot of fires. And over the years, we recognized in the early 80s is when fire prevention really started ramping up. Fire and life safety education, programs being put in place to reduce fires. And you'll see as this chart continues on, we did a great job up to about 96 or 98, and then we kind of plateaued. And we've kind of plateaued ever since then. I think there's still a lot of effort going into fire prevention and reducing fire risk. But is it time to make the change from fire prevention to community risk reduction? I feel the answer is yes. As you look Identifying a risk and reducing that risk works. So in 1980, apologize, 1980, we had 734,000 structure fires in America. Come over to the 2020, and we had 338,000. We cut that number by half, a little more than half, and that's great. Will community risk reduction do the same? Yes, but not just on fires. It identifies and puts ways to reduce risk and hazards throughout your whole community. So one way we can do this, and a very good way we can do this, we have both internal and external stakeholders in our department and in the community we serve. So we got to incorporate citizen buy-in, get the citizens on board with reducing risk to our community. And we also need to work to enhance our community outreach. What are we doing? Are we going out and seeing these people that we serve? Are we going to the schools? Are we going to the senior living centers? Are we going to colleges in our towns? What are we doing to get the message out to reduce risk in our community? So we have to reach a diverse group, right? Over the years, America has changed. We're a diverse group of people in America. We're a diverse group of people in the community we serve. And there probably is a diverse group of people in the department, association, or organization you work in. So we must work to reach those all groups. As you look in the picture back right here behind me, this is one of our um, schools in our town where our fire and life safety educators went out and taught a class. They're in every class, every school, every month, teaching something about fire and life safety. The benefit of this program is no matter what language they speak, what color they are, what gender they are getting the same message. And that message is being taken home by the student to their guardian. Maybe it's in the form of a coloring book for fire and life safety. Maybe it's in a map to draw out a home escape plan. But what is important that this message is getting out to everyone, not just one group, one socioeconomic group, one nationality, one race, one gender. It's everyone, and it's a holistic approach to our community and reaching everyone. We got to be taking advantage of networking through our state, through our fire departments in our state, through fire departments across the country, through professional organizations, all the above. Educators are one of the biggest proponents of this right here as far as networking. If they see a need in their community, they develop a program that addresses that need and educates citizens on the problem and ways to eliminate that problem. That's huge. We can't count those numbers of how many fires that they have prevented because a citizen don't call 911 and say, "Hey, just want you to know I prevented a fire today. Thank you. Have a great day." No, they call when they have the fire. So those numbers are hard to track. We can track fires easily, but all the fires prevented, we may never know. But when you start seeing your numbers go down and your risk go down and your call volume go down, it is working and it's working well. You got to work to reach all demographics. You got to be out on the streets. You got to be working in the community centers with other agencies in your community, other public safety agencies, other community organizations, all the above, guys, so we can work to reach as many people as possible. So, should we shift our focus? from mitigation to community risk reduction? Big question, right? Huge question. If we prevent a fire, do we have to mitigate it? No. The answer is no. If we reduce risk and identify risk in our community and eliminate them, our call volumes go down. Our towns and communities are safer along with the citizens we serve. So I have a triangle or a tetrahedron here behind me. Some of you guys are probably old enough to remember the fire triangle: fuel, oxygen, heat, right? That is non-flaming combustion, a smoldering fire. And then we took and added the chemical chain reaction and created the tetrahedron, which is the flaming mode of combustion. So can we do this same model for community risk reduction? I think we can. So just like fuel, oxygen, and heat, there's three components from shifting this focus from mitigation to community risk reduction: training, education, and professional development. Right? If we train our people early on identifying risk and eliminating risk and ways to implement fire and life safety programs throughout our community, we can continually train to improve all aspects of community risk reduction. This starts early. It starts in recruit school and goes all the way up through officer training and continual annual training. This is a huge part. There are individual aspects of this training, but as a whole, the training has to be focused on community risk reduction. Education. Is a professional education required to be a good firefighter, a good fire chief? No. Is it required to be a good community risk reduction advocate? No. But does it enhance the critical thinking, the planning, and implementing of your community risk reduction efforts? 100%. 100%. Education is key, and we've heard that. I used to work with a guy that says a man doesn't know what a man doesn't know. Well, that's true. So the more you educate yourself and your people and your citizens about risks that have been identified and ways to reduce them, the safer it will be in your community. The last thing is professional development. The last component of the triangle is professional development. Professional development should never stop. It's easy for some people to get complacent and say, I've got as high as I'm going to go in this department or this organization. I'm going to sit here and wait till retirement. What good does that do for you, the guy working beside you, or lady working beside you, and the community you took an oath to serve and protect their life and property? It doesn't. You continue. Professional development isn't hard. Read a book, watch a podcast, go to a conference, go to a seminar, whatever. But in order to shift from mitigation to community risk reduction, you've got to take those three components of the community risk reduction triangle and implement the middle part, which is a community risk reduction program, to make the community risk reduction tetrahedron. This is something I feel is very simple and easy to understand. If you just got three parts, just like the fire triangle, you have non-flaming combustion. If you just have the three parts of the community risk reduction triangle, you're not going to see a whole lot of change. When you add in the community risk reduction program and reduce the risk identified, that's when you see the change. That's when you see the flaming combustion, like in the fire tetrahedron. You see your department start lighting up and growing and reducing the risk in your community. These all work together in unison to make community risk reduction program work. there is changes in society and changes in the workforce. We've got to embrace those changes. In 2020, we had a lot of changes. You know, it changed a lot of things for a lot of people. School systems and workforce and your homes, everything. But did the workforce today become less because of COVID? No. Was that dumb rookie, that started a year ago the same as you were when you came on 22 years ago or longer? And the officer's eyes, possibly. That's where the mentality has to change. We have to accept the new workforce that's coming in. You know, if we do things well, it's always been done, will it ever get better? No. We should continue to evaluate and make changes. The new members of our workforce coming in bring things to the table. It may not be exactly what you thought it should be, and they may go a different way to get there, but they're resourceful. They're smart. They walk around with phones in their pockets and in their hands constantly, right? They have a computer. If you ask a question and they don't know it, or if you're talking about something, teaching a lecture, and they want to find out more about it, they Google, bam, they're on it, and they'll be looking at that phone. It used to drive me crazy. Why is he looking at his phone when I'm up here teaching this class or doing whatever? He was actually learning more by listening to me and looking things up than I than that probably that young recruit that I was back in 2003 would have ever learned. Implement the stuff, use it. Education technology is great. Society as a whole, there's a lot of changes that's been going on in society in the last 10 years. Uh, we've got to educate them on what the modern day fire service looks like. Why are we here? Oh, fires go down. We don't need as many of y'all. Right? We don't need as many fire departments. We don't need as many trucks. We don't. Y'all are just costing money. That's not the normal mentality of most society to the fire service, but it is some people's mentality. We've got to make them understand why we're here in today's times, and what we can do to benefit them and the environment by reducing risk in our community, and get them to buy in, get them to be a part of it, have them bring issues to your department, and then you work with them to develop a solution. So future challenges, as we said earlier, we will have challenges. When you make changes, you have challenges. No doubt, there's no way around it. But is it a hurdle that we can't get over? Is it a mountain we can't climb? No. Firefighters are resilient. Fire service professionals are resilient. If they have a problem, they will work to find a solution. It's what we do. It's just what we do, and we're very, very resourceful when it comes to that. So one thing we got to work on is the mindset and cultural change. We've got to change the mindset that we're just here to answer calls. That's still out there, and I know it is, and we've got to make everyone understand that what if we reduce these risks and we educate our community, your calls go down, you can sleep longer at night, guys. But more importantly, we reduce the risk in our community. We make it safer for the citizens we serve. We've got to work towards that. We must have an all hazard approach. We're not just fire. You don't just call the fire department for a fire anymore, correct? What do we do now? Okay, we still do answer fires, and that's correct, and we're always going to do that and do a great job at it. But also, we handle hazmat, unwanted hazmat release, or hazmat material spills, emergency medical. Lord, everyone knows that's on the rise. What else? Anything that they can't think of who to send to that call, who goes? Fire department. And we fix it. So we've got to basically rebrand ourselves and sell ourselves on what we are today. We're not just fire. We are a huge benefit to the safety of the community. And we can continue that by implementing a community risk reduction plan. So, community risk reduction plan, you got to have a division to carry it out. As I said, I'm division chief of support, and one thing I have been working very hard on and am very close to putting into place, through a lot of help of others, is we're changing from fire prevention to community risk reduction division. We're going to work to eliminate these risks and being proactive on finding tools and education to prevent a risk before it becomes a hazard, and we have to have a mitigation tactic. We're working real hard on that. So who's going to lead this division? Is it the fire marshal? Well, their plate's pretty full, right? Is it an educator? Well, maybe they might be the right fit, maybe not. But we have to have a leader. And I think that falls on the shoulders of a division chief or someone in the administration. But it's not just one person. You must develop a team to reduce the risk in your community. One person's not going to get it done. There can be a division in a fire department, but it is going to take a team of the fire marshal's office, the fire and life safety educators, community risk reduction specialists, fire inspectors, fire investigators, city council members, all public safety personnel throughout your community. And then most importantly, the citizens. You know, if you can get the people on board and they start working towards reducing risk, now we have a team approach to community risk reduction. I understand there has to be someone in charge, and that way they can keep a direction going and set expectations. And we're going to continue to do that. In our department, I'll be that guy. Things go right, I congratulate our team and let's go on. If things go wrong, it's on me, and we'll fix that as well. Public safety personnel risk reduction. Community risk reduction will reduce the risk to our public safety personnel. That's all of us. Our ultimate goal is to have everyone go home after every shift. You look at the 16 fire and life safety initiatives through the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, everyone goes home, right? And that's what we want in our community, in our department, in our profession. Community risk reduction will enhance public safety personnel risk reduction. And one of the ways we can do this is by doing our annual inspections thoroughly, recognizing is a sprinkler system red tags it's marked out of service, is a fire alarm system not being monitored so it will not notify dispatch or send a call in and we can be dispatched during a fire alarm activation. Inspections are a huge part of the community risk reduction program, making sure all fire alarm and suppression systems work correctly when needed. Pre-plans by the engine companies. Engine companies must take the opportunity when they're doing pre-plans to identify any hazards, any risk, utility location, things that would present a challenge to them or help them if they had to respond to emergency at that location. Take them serious. Get involved and learn about what's in your area. Public education. You know, we had a former fire marshal who always would ask the question, who in here is an educator? Maybe one or two would raise their hand, and he said, "You're all wrong. Everybody in here is an educator. You may not be certified as a fire and life safety educator, but you are an educator. You have the knowledge, skills, and ability to go out and tell somebody, hey, don't do that. That'll cause you a fire. Or you need to take care of this because you may have a fire." So all people should continue to educate the public on any kind of community risk reduction effort. One way we can start this to reduce this risk, and a big first step, is to do a community risk assessment. We must look at our community and say, what is our risk? Prioritize that risk once they're identified, and then implement some type of solution. Once that solution is in place, you need to evaluate and modify as needed. The community risk assessment is a great tool for reducing risk and will reduce risk, but it's only as good as what's being implemented and enforced. So I want to thank you for your time today. It is very important that you all take something, I hope, back from this presentation that allows you to go back and kind of see. You may be way beyond what I talked about today. But some may have not even started. As you look on the screen behind me, there's a young man being pinned by an older man. That was a recruit last year. He is being pinned by his grandfather. His grandfather is pinning his badge on him after he took an oath to become a firefighter. That grandfather is a retired captain of 40 years with our department. The foundation is there for this young man to come in and continue and take on and bring in a new culture and idea to our department. But he also understands the importance of maintaining the past that led to the future, right? Community risk reduction. We're still going to train to fight fires. That's what we do. We got to make sure we're ready for that. We got to make sure we're ready to respond to whatever the call may be. So training is going to stay a huge important part. And finally, education on the end down there. Education is key. We've got to educate our personnel, our citizens, all stakeholders that have a vested interest in our community must buy in and work to reduce the risk. I want to close today by reading to you our mission statement of the Rome Floyd Fire Department. Mission statement is something we, as leaders in our department, require our new recruits to stand up and say every morning, so that it gets ingrained to them. We want to understand what is our mission and what do we expect them to do once they're part of our team and family. So the Rome Floyd Fire Department mission statement is to proudly protect lives, our environment, and property by providing prompt, skillful, cost-effective fire protection and life safety services to our citizens. Simple. Fire and life safety services to our citizens, and do it at a cost-effective way. One way we can reduce the cost to our citizens and make them safer, their property and the environment, is implementing a community risk reduction program and a division within your department. I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate you being attentive during my presentation. I'll be around. Have contact information out if you need to reach out to me or you have any questions. Please feel free to. Thank you again. I wish you all have a great day, and thanks for listening.